Hello and welcome to Baldur's Gate 2 the movie. I'm calling it the movie because I'm going to be editing out any boring stuff like inventory management or backtracking that you guys just don't need to see. Things that will hopefully improve the quality of your viewing experience. Did I say that right? Anyway, I don't want to talk too much. So let's go ahead and get started.
You spent your youth in the library fortress of Candlekeep, under the kind tutelage of your foster father Gorion. Imoen shared this home, a kindred spirit. Her background was as mysterious as your own. Gorion's murder brought answers to your questions, when his killer Saravok was revealed to be your brother. You and Saravok were a product of the Time of Troubles, a chaotic period when gods were made flesh and forced to walk the earth. One such deity foresaw his own death and walked the land before the cataclysm. He left a score of mortal offspring, intended to be the fuel for his rebirth. The god was Baal, Lord of Murder, and you are one of his children. Saravok sought a war of sacrifice to prove his worth, believing he could become the new Lord of Murder. You killed your brother, sending his taint back to Baal. You were the hero of Baldur's Gate, but some suspected you shared the same lineage as Saravok. You departed soon after, under circumstances much darker than anyone would have believed. They came as you rested, figures cloaked in mist that clouded your thoughts, blurring the lines between consciousness and dreaming. There was no malice or hatred, no mention of an old score, only quick capture and the promise of grim deeds to come.
Ah, the child of Baal has awoken. It is time for more experiments. The pain will only be passing. You should survive the process. Interesting. You have much untapped power. Do you even realize your potential?
More intruders have entered the complex, Master.
They act sooner than we had anticipated. No matter, they will only prove a slight delay.
Wake up! Come on! We have to get out of here!
Okay, so free at last, thanks to Emmeline. You can see our journal has updated. This is chapter 1, just like the title of the video says. Let's go ahead and turn off that party AI and take a look at our main character here. You can see we are going to be a dual-wield flail katana melee fighter mage. And Emmeline is a thief mage, dual class, which is different than a multi-class. There's a lot to go into, but you can see her proficiencies there. She's going to be really useful, but not for a very long amount of time after we finish this dungeon here. So anyway, first things first, let's go check out a few familiar faces here.
Quickly, we must get out of here before whoever did this returns. I swear, traveling with you is never dull.
Minsk will be free. These bonds will not hold my wrath, but will be liberally kicked in good measure. Bars, they bend and twist with my berserker strength. Minsk and Boo are free. Now you will no. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, you are a smart one. I understand now. You said what you did just to get me mad. Mad enough to break free. Haha. You are as smart as Boo sometimes.
So everybody's favorite ranger, Minsk, we'll check out his proficiencies. He's a ranger, level 7, really high strength, super duper high strength. You can see he's proficient in two-handed weapons, and yeah, he's a really solid party member that we'll probably be keeping for the rest of the game, as well as Jaheira too, but we don't quite have her out of the cage yet. Try to fix that. Very first trap of the game, we're going to see quite a few of these, to put it very lightly. There's about 10 million traps in this game, so always have a trap detecting character in your party. Chest here full of some armor and some shields. We'll equip those off screen, of course, and some weapons here on this table. Bunch of stuff, but the jail cell key is what we really need. We'll have a word with the golem here, see what he can tell us. Not much. Alright, so now we have 4 party members, which is better than 1. Or 2, I guess. I guess we start with 2 when Emmeline unlocks the cage. But yeah, Jaheira, extremely good. Extremely good party member. For a good or evil party, it doesn't matter. She's a neutral druid. So yeah, we'll head on out the way we saw those thieves get destroyed. Hopefully there are no traps here. So this looks to be the source of the thieves' misery. And there's a little device over here. You can run over and turn it off in sneak mode. That will keep any more of these little mephits, or whatever they're called, from spawning. Mephits. I don't know. They're annoying little critters. Stronger than a goblin or a kobold, for sure. And they can do some pretty nasty stuff to your party depending on what type of mephit it is. But 1 versus 4 is not much of a challenge. And we come into a really strange room. Some crystals and some pools of water. Interesting little area here. So we had a little bit of a Dark Knight conundrum there. I think the Joker played Baldur's Gate 2 and then decided to do his little boat scheme based on Attica's little riddle there. Interesting stuff. We're going to cast with Emmeline. We don't want her to get up close. She's very squishy. But everyone else is just going to run in and hit it with a sword. Now Emmeline's going to win too. No problem. Some of these early fights aren't going to be very complex or hard. They're just go in and hit them with the sword is basically the thing. But yeah, you may have or may not have noticed my character's alignment when I was looking at his character sheet. He's chaotic good, and that's mainly because I wanted to be less boring than neutral good. Chaotic good, I feel like I can do some shit that an evil character might do and get away with it. But yeah, you can see I just scribed Find Familiar. Only the protagonist, only the main character of the game can cast this spell. But it's really good, and once I rest, I'm going to pop out a Familiar. We'll talk more about it then. Right now, we've got our first actual fight that's not a 1-on-4 fight. So we've got some goblins here. They're going to fall really quick. Don't let their numbers worry you. They can't even really hurt your characters at this point, since you're all like level 7, level 8. If this was Baldur's Gate 1, this might be an encounter that might cause some trouble, but probably not, really. Goblins are really weak. See my protagonist there, out in front, dual-wielding, missing every whack there, but we'll get some better weapons, and it'll work out. Things will work out. Normally in games, I'm not much for dual-wielding, but in Baldur's Gate 2, it's just the best option. Hands down, there's no other choice, really, if you want to be dealing the most amount of damage you can. So we come into a weird room with a bunch of tanks. It's like some experiments that our strange captor has been doing. Maybe some older subjects, people who have been here longer than us. But another mephit as well in this room. We'll just smack it with our weapon. I equipped some of those short bows those goblins had. Similar to Baldur's Gate 1, the first dungeon of this game, the one we're in right now, ranged weapons are going to make your life a lot easier. It'll just keep you from running into large ambushes. You can kite enemies a lot easier if the entire party is using a ranged weapon. Sorry, I'll try not to talk over too much of the text, but that's just Emmeline whining about being tortured. What a baby, right? Jeez. So we'll press further into the room. Find another short bow here. a few arrows.
As I have said before, you could not have made a better choice.
All right, Jaheira, that's enough. And another enemy straight ahead. An ice method this time. But we'll just get up in there and destroy the world. What are these things doing here? Does Irenicus keep these things as pets, or are they just like little, like, I don't even know. Does he not even notice them? They're so insignificant to him. But anyway, the main reason I'm playing this game as opposed to starting with Baldur's Gate 1 on my channel is mainly because Baldur's Gate 1 is low-level Dungeons & Dragons, and it's just, you know, you're going to be fighting kobolds or goblins or wolves 90% of the game, and it's just not that exciting. It's an interesting story, and I may end up doing Baldur's Gate 1 one day, but I wanted to start with like a fun game, an exciting game that's interesting right from the beginning, and that has fun fight mechanics that I can actually go into. But right now, we're basically playing Baldur's Gate 1 right now in this dungeon. So
With vengeance.
you can see enemies will panic when they get too low on HP. That one tried to run away right there, but wasn't happening. Okay, so we have an interesting golem here. He can perform certain activities, but we have to find a stone for him. So just loot this room, see what we can find. A few more non-magical weapons. Oh, excuse me. Oh no. Scroll of flame arrow. Oh my gosh. Get. So I said I would edit out the inventory management, but I'm not going to edit out the actual looting. But hopefully I'll get better at it, because Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I was totally wrong. There are magical weapons in this room, by the way. Any weapon that's +1 or anything that's not just a normal weapon is considered magical, so... And in this room we have a couple of clay golems. These are special clay golems because they can be hit without magical weapons. Normally you need at least a +2 weapon, and I think it needs to be blunt normally to even damage clay golems, but these two are special in that, you know, you're probably not gonna have that kind of weaponry at this point in the game, so just go in here and murder these guys, or else they will be sent to attack you later. And, you know, might as well attack them now while they're not working together. Further up, another goblin. If you find one goblin, there's going to be more than... There's going to be 10 at least. No, at least 5 though, for real. They travel in packs, just like wolves in Dragon's Dogma. We'll wipe these guys out with our better weapons now. I equipped some of those magical weapons from the sewage golem room. Now you can see I'm just kiting these guys. There's no reason to do this. If they were tough enemies, maybe. But at this point in the game, I mean, these goblins are just so weak. And you can see they drop a little bit of gold, some arrows for us, some more short bows. Why are you guys in this dungeon? Does John just let you guys come in here and hang out? Are you supposed to be security? Don't know why they're here. I do know they're annoying. Oh, that one dropped the scroll of identify. That's kind of cool. Take it. Here we go. A room that has a single tank in it. This must be a special test subject. Pickled men.
Release. Yes. Master, I no longer wish to come back. I thank thee. Go and leave me to oblivion at last.
He's dead now? This pathetic creature.
Okay, so pretty sad little bit there. That guy just did not have a very noble fate. But what can you do? We're dealing with a pretty evil guy. But now we found the activation stone. We're going to skip back to this room where we can actually use it to talk to these pickled men. Let's see what they have to say. That one, not much. There's only actually 3 tanks in here that you can interact with once you have the activation stone. Or I'm sorry, not the activation stone, the cells right there that Relev gave us. Yeah, if you weren't sure that the guy that captured us was a bad guy, now you know. Well, that one actually had something pretty interesting and useful to say. We'll get to the bottom of that soon. Oh, yes. Alright, so he's going to run off and open up a bunch of different doors for us, but we're just going to head to the closest entrance, which is over here by this narrow hallway. More goblins. Amazing. They exploded pretty easily, and I was contradicted, by the way. There was 3 goblins there, less than 5, but now we see actually an interesting creature, the Otu here. If this was Baldur's Gate 1, it might be a bit of an issue, but all we're going to do is get ready. We're going to move in. We're going to move in. The sewage, damn it. We're going to move in. Here we go. So yeah, he's a pretty nasty enemy there. He can give you a nice disease, and as you can see there, he gave my main character the disease. So we're going to go ahead and rest, but for more than just that reason. Oh.
You sure have some kind of courage to sleep in this place. I would have run screaming 12 times over if you weren't here.
Okay, so now that we've rested, we can actually cast Find Familiar. And if your familiar dies, the main drawback of this spell, if your familiar dies, you lose 1 point of Constitution permanently. But here's the thing: you can talk to your familiar and say, "Hey, come here. I want to put you in my backpack." In which case, it's just you're trading 1 slot in your inventory for like 12 HP max, like a 12 max HP boost. By the way, before I rested, I looted this room anyway, so don't want to put too much boring looting on in here. And more goblins. Hooray. Exciting stuff. But now you can see our protagonist there. He has so much HP compared to the rest of the party. That's why he's now leading, despite having a much lower armor class. He's not going to wear any actual armor this entire game, but we will be using stone skin and armor, the spell armor, and other such armor class boosting techniques. Oh, look at this. A definite change of scenery here in the dungeon. We're going to send Emmeline out because it looks like trap heaven. Okay, so quite a few good items in that room. The Helm of Baldur, the Metaspell Influence Amulet. You have a Wand Key, which is it's going to make more sense later. For now, we'll head southeast.
Protect me.
So beautiful. I used to dream of dryads and their beautiful trees.
Okay, so we have a few dryads here that want us to fetch some acorns from another corner of the dungeon here. But for now, we'll head this way. I'm going to send Emmeline up by herself. There's another suspicious room that could very well be filled with traps. Alarm goes off.
What is this place? It's beautiful. Oh, there is simply no way that this space belongs to the same person that owns those horrible glass containers.
And that alarm will actually summon the two golems that we murdered earlier, if you remember. They have to travel quite a distance to get to you, but still. And some more decent items in there. You get the Pommel, the Jewel of the Equalizer, which is a piece of a really good weapon that we'll get way later in the game at some point. For now, we're going to backtrack, edit it out. We come across a room with some more goblins.
That's not right.
As I poorly micromanage my party here. Yeah, just not much to say about these fights with these goblins right now. That's why I didn't want to do the Baldur's Gate 1 as my first video series, because it would be a lot of these fights which are just point all of your party members at an enemy and kill it. So, but as you can tell, there's a nice portal here, which is good. We're going to head back to the sewer room where we fought the OTU, as that was a dead end back there. So until we get the key to let us travel through that portal, that is. For now, we're in a very long, narrow hallway, which could be trapped. I don't think it actually is, but it's always best to send your trap-finding character ahead of the party. Coming across what appears to be a library, a large room with a bunch of bookshelves and some more annoying mephits.
Gotcha good.
And he's got friends. You can tell if we were to come across a bunch of these mephits at once, it might be an issue. Because they don't explode immediately like the goblins do, so we'll have to watch out for that if it ever happens. Foreshadowing.
Gotcha good.
Ranger here is taking a few knocks from these archer goblins, which is annoying. I'll have to heal her up after this fight, but still nothing to worry about. You saw how that scroll had a green outline. That means that my main character does not know that spell. So.
This reminds me so much of Candlekeep. Dusty old tomes all over, bookcases nearly spilling. It's like we never left.
Okay, so Emmeline complaining some more. What's new? We're gonna make our way through this U-shaped hallway. We're going to actually spell buff for the first time ever.
Bad enough without ye bothering me.
We've got our first fight that I warranted. Our first fight that warranted any actual preparation. So we'll see how this goes. We got quite a few of these guys. A few with crossbows, one with a sling. And Iliac himself, who is a melee bruiser with a big shield there. So we cast Entangle with Jaheira. We're trying to buff up our main character right now with Mirror Image and Blur. Unfortunately, his Mirror Image got interrupted by one of the crossbows, I think, or either that or one of the sling users. Either way, we've taken a bit of damage here, but we are all hasted. Now, haste is a spell that's going to carry us through this game. Any important fight, we're going to haste the entire party before engaging. So that makes such a huge difference. It's ridiculous. Haste is probably the best spell in the game, bar none. So liberally use haste if you're having any trouble in this game. Haste will solve most of your problems. Blur and Mirror Image on your main character with haste is it's unreal how strong that is.
I read about them when they were skipping out of lessons back.
Okay, so I'm speeding up here just to let Entangle finish up while I loot the room. There's lots of loot here. The bodies themselves have lots of stuff. Pretty much anything your party doesn't have, you're gonna be able to find in this room. Anything you might need. Find some decent male armor here. Armor class 3. The way armor class works is the lower the armor says your armor class is gonna go, the better. You would think it would be the opposite, but it's not, and that's how a lot of these old D&D mechanics are. It's totally the opposite of what you expect. Like Thaco, Thaco. It's another confusing mechanic. Oh, we almost triggered that trap there. Luckily Emmeline's not a fat ass. Didn't set it off right away. And we're coming into a room with a very strange magical device and a man trapped in a sphere there. So let's see what we can do about that. First, I think we'll surround him here. Get our melee weapons out. Everybody except Emmeline anyway. And surround this guy. Not gonna let him breathe. And now we'll approach the device and tinker with it. And boom, out pops a Cambrian. Or a Cambion, which is like a demon or something. Not 100% sure what it is, but Minsk just took a big hit from him. 13 slashing damage right there. big deal. We're going to go ahead and try to get Minsk out of there. He was just not... Maybe I should have had him stay at range as well. Now Imoen's being attacked, so that's good. She'll get fucking cut down really easily. But we're trying to kite here, clumsily trying to kite this guy, and finally we get him facing someone who can deal with him. But even still, this guy's no pushover, man. 1-on-4, he almost wiped out 2 party members. So we heal up and head back up the hallway the way we came, and we're going to open this door now, which we needed the air elemental statue to open, I believe, which we found in the first trap room. Now, this is where we're gonna run into lots of these little mythics, these little annoying guys. We'll try not to trigger too many of them at once. But it's definitely important to focus them down. Right now we're only fighting 2, but up ahead there's a big ambush for us. And they can cause lots of debilitating effects on your party. Most notably, panic, maybe. A few that just completely take away all control that you have over your party. And that's an issue. But as long as we fight them 1 or 2 at a time, shouldn't be much trouble. These guys don't even drop loot either, like, come on. At least the goblins give me 8 gold. But we have a strange device here. And also, by the way, we're in a strange place, obviously. We've stepped into a different plane altogether, I believe. No trap, just a conjure air elemental scroll, excuse me. Yeah, we are in the plane of mystery right now, filled with methods and some weird windmills. I'm just gonna drink some potions here because these little minor potions are not gonna be useful in battle, so you might as well use them outside of battle rather than constantly camping or resting. But we fully spell buff here. We blur, mirror image, and haste before heading up onto this large platform. You can see quite a few methods up here. Imoen walks up. She's not doing what I want her to do. I want her to shoot her bow from far away, but she keeps running right up to the enemies to do it, so I'm really struggling with her. So instead I decide to just cast spells with her. She still really just does not want to keep her distance, and I don't understand why. It may be something that they hit her with. Blind, maybe. Blind is causing her to approach the enemies because she can't target. But as you can see, she has Stone Skin activated, as does... I'm sorry, my protagonist does not have Stone Skin yet. He's not wearing Stone Skin, so... We are... that's why he's taking any damage, really. If he had Stone Skin along with Blur and Mirror Image, he wouldn't get touched in this fight, but... So anyway, by the way, I just sent Imoen off. I'm like, okay, you're not going to be in this fight now. And finally, she decides to start shooting from far away, which I think her blind status is one off. So anyway, yeah, that was definitely the toughest encounter so far. It went pretty well for us, considering, you know, aside from the obvious Imoen getting blinded. But now we approach a ottoman with a lamp on it. And a genie pops out. Cool. So this is the plane of air. Interesting. So the genie needs his original flask, and we can find that back at the Dryads. All we need to do is deliver their acorns and then talk to them again, and they will hand over the flask for the genie. And this is quite a bit of backtracking to go from the genie to here back to the genie, because it's all the way across the entire dungeon. But it's totally worth it, I promise. Back at the genie, make the exchange, get lots of experience and an item. The genie gives us the Sword of Chaos +2, which was Saravok's sword from Baldur's Gate 1. Really good weapon for Minsk or anyone else that uses two-handed swords. I gave it to Minsk. Makes him a lot better melee character. Until we get him a nice longbow, we're going to probably keep him with that two-handed sword. The only problem is he usually has his armor class is usually lacking until we get him some nice full plate mail, but he'll get there. He will get there. So yeah, by the way, this portal room we've already cleared of goblins. Here, have some more goblins, whatever. And we finally get a level up. Level 2 spell, +1, level 4 spell, +1, and 4 hit points. So, not much HP gain, because that was the mage level. When you multi-class, you gain levels.
So, there is sanity in all this madness.
Hold on.
If you are not in league with the evil that dwells in this unholy place, Yoshimo begs your assistance.
Alright, so we get Yoshimo on board, who is a bounty hunter, which is a thief kit. He's really good. He's going to be our thief, our party thief, for a long time. Spoilers. Imoen's not going to be in the party for much longer. So anyway, he warned us about this room. What we need to do is attack the machines and not the methods, or else they'll just continuously spawn. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to completely ignore them and hope they don't completely ruin our party by putting everyone to sleep, for example. Oh, look at that color spray. But as you can see, the entire party has been put to sleep, except for Imoen and Yoshimo, our two best damage dealers. Not really. And now Yoshimo goes down for a nap. Things are getting pretty hairy here. Imoen's by herself. We're gonna see what we can do about destroying that last one ASAP with a magic missile spell. If we can ever finish this one off. Imoen taking some shots. Everyone's still sleeping. Come on, Imoen. Come on, Imoen. Okay, here we go. A few people have woken up. Everyone except Yoshimo's up. Man, I swear that went about as badly as it could have gone, really. Like, Jesus Christ. Everyone went to sleep. We're going to heal up. We're going to level up, I'm sorry, and then we're going to heal up. And loot the room here.
Khalid? No. This is an illusion, a dream. A bad dream. Where are the mirrors, the switches to pull to show where he's hidden? Khalid! Damn you!
Okay, so Jaheira makes an unfortunate discovery.
I want to say how sorry I am about Khalid.
No! You do not know. This is not the time for this conversation, child.
Okay, so Emmeline is just totally fucked up at this point. She has so much PTSD she can't even into social interaction. Alright, so we're going to send Yoshimo up. He's a slightly better trap finder than Emmeline. But instead of traps, we find another room with tanks and a weird duel happening between an assassin and an escaped clone. Interesting stuff here. John Irenicus is really doing all kinds of experiments here. Cloning people? It appears his clone is defective and is just feral, but she is a mage who can cast Mirror Image and Agonizer's Scorcher, so watch out for her. She's got a few spells, but just keep smacking her and she'll go down. No problem. 1 on 4. Sorry, 1 on 5. Really struggling to count this first episode here. She did have another wand key, though, which is about to come in handy. So yeah, Irenicus is shown several different occasions where he's looking for love or looking for his emotions or something. Weird stuff. Weird stuff. It's like he's a bad guy, but he knows he's a bad guy and he wants to reform himself or something. I don't know. He's a complex guy. Really interesting villain, if you ask me, or antagonist, I should say. He is a villain, but at the same time, he does have redeeming qualities. But anyway, we find another assassin here who's fighting a Mephit. We needed to step in to speed up that fight because he was not making a lot of progress there. More Mephits and goblins, man. It's the order of the day here in Irenicus' dungeon. If you hear it get stunned, really dangerous. Affliction, stunned, because it ruins your armor class. Like, if you're stunned, you're gonna take it. You're gonna take damage from somebody swinging at you. There's no chance they'll miss. So you can easily get destroyed. So watch out for stuns and use them to your advantage if you have someone that can inflict them. It just annoys me how these goblins sit back and shoot arrows at you while you destroy their buddies. Like, as you can see, our main character is just taking a lot of damage in this fight. He is really low at this point. And there's no hand-holding in this game. If your health reaches 0, you're dead. You need to go to a temple and pay like 1 billion gold, and then you'll get revived. But I've been playing Pillars of Eternity recently, and they kind of make it a little bit more casual, where if you die, like if your health gets to 0 in a fight, you just wake back up at the end of the fight. When I started playing this again, I expected that to happen for some reason. It just didn't happen. Like, oh, okay. Anyway, that bridge is trapped, so watch out there. Also, some big pipes in here. And foreshadowing that this room is trapped. I don't know how that guy got into the middle there. Like, he's fine? Like, how did he get there? I guess this is one of Irenicus' little dwarven bodyguard guys. I'm not sure. The Druger. But whatever. In order to disarm these traps, just use your wand keys that you've been finding, or that we've been finding this entire time. There are, what, 6 in total? I'm going to have my main character grab this crossbow just to give him a ranged option for now. I mean, he's not going to be good with it, but it's better than having him, run across traps to hit people with his sword or whatever. So, alright, all of them have been disarmed, and now we can loot the statue here. The Lincoln Monument or whatever. I guarantee that's a statue of Irenicus. I don't know. I didn't read the description there. He's made himself a shrine. What a weirdo, man. So anyway, we're gonna spell buff and head in here. We've got more Druger, more goblins first, but you can take care of them really easily. You're hasted now, and everybody is focus firing with ranged weapons. This is Baldur's Gate 1 in a nutshell. Focus firing, ranged weapons, like, with haste. And you win that game. Sure. We don't want to let these guys set up too much in terms of spell buffing themselves. So we're going to actually try to lay it on a little bit heavier now. With spells of our own. To cast Magic Missile, which is a 100% hit rate. You're never going to miss a Magic Missile. Really useful spell, even though it's only level 1. And otherwise, we'll get in there with our melee. Just finish them off. Melee in this game is way stronger than ranged, but ranged is just better because you don't trigger every enemy at the same time. So it's kind of a balance. Anyway, we loot that room and head back into the main, whatever you would call this, chapel. I don't know. But anticipating more traps, we send Yoshi ahead.
Get me out of this hellhole.
So yeah, lots of traps in this room. But that also means lots of experience for us. Yeah, no real reason to suspect this guy. A lot of the dialogue choices are like calling him really suspicious. By the way, there's a trap right here that I didn't find. Got hit by it. Didn't do much damage really, but hurt my pride to miss a trap there. But yeah, Finnegan, this guy, he will eventually turn on you and attack you, but it doesn't actually happen for me in this in this playthrough. I keep trying to provoke him, but he's just chilling, and that's fine. So I think that might be the first time we hear the name Irenicus. I don't know, but yeah, there it is, Irenicus. Now this this vampire lady here, she is red, but she won't actually attack us. But I think she is immune to normal weapons. I think only magical weapons can hurt her. So she runs like, she destroys these guys if you don't step in. And maybe I should have let her step in. Maybe I should have let her kill them. But I mean, it doesn't matter either way. They fall really quick. But she died. Like, she died way quicker than I expected her to. But yeah, Mince got panicked there. So it took a while for Mince's panic to wear off once we killed that mage. But eventually he calmed down, and we can finally progress here towards the exit of the dungeon and the exit of Chapter 1.
Hi, friend.
And another confused assassin. I wonder who all these assassins are sent by. Who knows? But a few more invisible assassins show up to try to ambush us, but they're both using short bows. Non-magical short bows, like, it's not gonna... Nothing's gonna They're not going to do anything for us. There's a composite longbow there for minutes. Well, I'm sorry. Obviously, they were using composite longbows, but either way, they were non-magical weapons, so they weren't going to be any kind of threat to us. Okay, so this is the stairway leading to the exit chamber. Nothing that way, just a dead end. So all that's left to do is exit Irenicus's dungeon.
The tunnel slopes upward into the welcome glare of daylight. Such is your relief that you barely notice the debris at your feet, the remnants of a battle fought only moments before. Surveying the carnage, you hear a scream of rage, and a massive explosion collapses the passage behind you. The sounds of combat greet you as you struggle to your feet. The fight, it seems, is still going strong.
You dare to attack me here. Do you even know whom you face? You will suffer! You will all suffer! So, Godchild, you have escaped. You are more resourceful than I had thought.
You're not going to torture us any longer.
Torture? Silly girl, you just don't understand what I'm doing, do you?
I don't care what you're doing. Let us go.
I won't let you leave, not when I'm so close to unlocking your power.
We don't want anything from you.
Enough! I will no longer listen to the babbling of ignorant children.
This is an unsanctioned use of magical energy. All involved will be held. This disturbance is over.
Must I be interrupted at every turn? Enough of this!
This mage's power is immense. We must overcome him quickly.
Enough! I haven't the time for this.
You will cease your spell casting and come with us.
Your pathetic magics are useless. Let this end.
Even if we fall, our numbers are many. You will be overwhelmed.
You bore me, Mage. You may take me in, but you will take the girl as well.
What? No. I've done nothing wrong.
You have been involved in illegal use of magic. You will come with us.
I'm not going with him. I'm not.
Yeah, so we find ourselves out here in Joaquin's Promenade. We're going to take a quick look around. We'll have a word with Lur here, see what he can tell us.
These buildings. Yes, that person was assuredly correct. This is Athkatla.
So we are going to follow Jaheira's advice and seek out the slums here in Athkatla. But first, we'll just take a look around at the promenade and see what all is here. Most notably, tons of shops. But anyway, to the slums.
You'd be the one I'd be looking for if I'm not be mistaken. It's not what I want, but what I can be doing for you. Now, Imoen, hey, that dear name. Young lass made the misfortune of casting a spell or two in a city that frowns on such business. Bad timing it was. You be thinking you wants to find her then? Cool. I knows very little myself. But this be not the best place to hold such a dialogue. I be having a place that would suit far better. It'd be just a short walk from here. Why don't I take you there right now? Unless you have some reason for not wanting to come along. Cool! Come with me then! Cool! It's good to be seeing you once again. Aye, I'll be doing that as quick as ye blink. I'll tell ye straight that I know a powerful group that can be helping ye. They can be finding the wizard and the young woman both they can, but they can be doing far better than the telling, my friend. They can also effect a rescue of your lass to boot.
The deal is made, and you have a goal, albeit a distant one. Your new friend has assured you that passage to Imoen can be bought, though you are certain the final tally will include much more than gold. Any help is welcome, however, and while the cost may be steep, your path is clear. Finding Imoen will lead to Irenicus, and to answers long overdue.
These are the prisoners from the disturbance at Joaquin's Promenade.
What is known?
Not but their names. The mage is John Irenicus. The girl is Imoen.
I didn't do anything. He did it all. I had...
Silence, child. Allow the fool to make his judgment.
Why was this man not gagged? Did he not slay 4 of you?
We dared not approach.
Regardless, in the end, he came willingly.
What should be done with them, sir?
They are deviants. Let them rot in Spellhurst.